I've always been into sports. If I wasn't playing some sort of sport, whether it be football or baseball or basketball, if I wasn't outside doing something, I was inside the house playing with my toys and always doing something sports related. So, you know the little matchbox, if you know the little matchbox cars, like the Hot Wheels toy cars that you have as a little kid, instead of doing the normal thing that little kids do with toy cars, what I did was turn them into football teams by color, and I would call the games myself. I did this for years, and when I'm outside, I'm playing it. It was just part of me at an early age, and it wasn't just the games; it was the history behind the games. Like I can remember spouting out certain facts and dates and stats about games that I never watched. And at the time, my parents were concerned because they thought that was the only thing that I was doing with my time. So, I guess it was concerning to them because they thought I wasn't doing anything else. So.
Davis outside the 40, 35, 30, TD down the sideline, inside the 25, still on his feet, inside the 20, inside the 15. First down, Denver. TD right now making a lot of Packers miss. Elway, handoff, Davis into the end zone, touchdown!
I think the first true football moment that I remember watching live was Super Bowl 32 when the Packers were playing the Denver Broncos, and the narrative around that game was, is this John Elway's last chance? John Elway's last, as he's winding down his now the Hall of Fame football career, was this going to be his last chance to win a championship? 3 previous appearances in the Super Bowl had all been blowouts, losses for the Denver Broncos. So here's John Elway at 37 years old, and the moment that I remember the most is he scrambles out of the pocket in the fourth quarter, is trying to get a first down, and dives head first and gets helicoptered.
Steps up in the pocket, Elway can run, inside the 10, head first, he dives inside the 5-yard line. My goodness!
It was a ferocious hit watching it live. And that's the first moment that I remember. And that's the moment that I really fell in love with the game. Because even then, I could see the passion. I could see the intensity with which they were playing. And it resonated with me. And the moment that everyone remembers from the celebration is owner Pat Bowlen taking the trophy and saying, "This one's for John."
This one's for John.
I also grew up I've grown up a huge Tennessee Titans fan. I've grown up a huge Tennessee Vols fan. Because I grew up in Tennessee, and those were the games that were on. And one of my favorite athletes was a man named Steve McNair.
McNair has time, throws left corner for Bennett in the end zone. Touchdown! Titans!
The moment that I will never forget was Super Bowl 34 a couple of years later when the expansion Tennessee Titans took on the St. Louis Rams. It was the second to last play of the game, and McNair is scrambling out of the pocket. 3 guys converge on him. 3 defenders have hands on him. And they're pulling him down. He does not go down. Somehow he breaks out of the hold and fires a strike to Kevin Dyson inside the 10-yard line.
He gets away somehow. Fires downfield. There's Dyson. Dyson at the 10. Ball timeout. He's tackled at the 10.
I remember I was in high school, and we wanted to make the announcements better. And I brought up the idea that maybe we should do like a mini sports report along with all the other stuff, to make it look like a quick mini newscast for the events of the day in the school. And so I did that, and then I would branch out nationally to do a few things nationally. Apparently, it was a good enough hit that to this day, they still do that at my high school.
Now to Cooper with the sports.
All right, in sports. Ultimate Frisbee spring tryout for boys and girls are today from 3:45 to 5:30 on the front lawn. The boys and girls basketball team will play Smyrna at home tonight. Girls start at 6. The theme is USA Night. Alabama won the national championship last night.
And that's what got me thinking, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do this as a career. Maybe I can be like a sports anchor or a broadcaster or a play-by-play announcer. Maybe I can do all that.
That's the sports.
And to me, what was the number one stamp of approval in my mind was when I got the chance to interview David Price. Now, we went to the same high school. He graduated in 2004. I graduated in 2009. So we weren't there together, but I had teachers who knew his family. And so I was able to work those channels and got the chance to interview David Price.
Y'all know that you're a rising major league star, and what has the last year taught you about yourself?
It's still a game, you know. I mean, I was playing in the World Series, and obviously it's different than when I was here at Blackman, but it's still the same. I mean, it's still 60 feet 6 inches.
Now, at the time, he was coming off an appearance in the World Series with the Tampa Bay Rays as a rookie, and he was the hottest young pitcher in baseball. Not bad for a kid from Murfreesboro. So I got the chance to interview him, to do that, and to air it on the TVs through the school. And it was met with a lot of positive feedback. And to me, that was wow. It was the light bulb moment. I can really do this. And so from that point forward, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a sports broadcaster. I was able to do it in college. I was a reporter for our television station for MT10 News. I was a news reporter. I was an anchor. I was a sports anchor, a sports reporter. So I have experience in all of those areas. I also dabbled in radio. I had my own radio show for about 2 years, where we talked about sports and other sorts of random things. That was the nature of the show. So I have experience in this area. I have experience covering high school sports. I have experience covering college basketball, like women's college basketball. I did a little bit of football, but what I gathered all my skills was covering high school football.
To quote Phil Collins, there was something calling in the air on Friday night. That thing was football.
I love what I want to do, and I really feel like all this crazy knowledge that bounces around in my head, I want to get it. I want to be able to use that knowledge to advance my career, to advance the brand that I would want to build, to advance those things that will help make me successful. And the best way I can do that is by pursuing a career in broadcasting.